Hey everyone, my name's Jake. You've obviously seen me in some of our past videos if you've watched. If not, check them out. Anyway, I just passed my MSF course and I just wanted to talk through my thoughts and maybe some of the drills that we went over. For those of you who might be wanting to take it or are a little nervous about it or not know what to expect. I just wanted to talk through my history a little bit with motorcycles. So about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I got my first bike, which is the 73 Honda CB350 that we have been working on in some of the videos. When I bought that bike, I was just interested in motorcycles. I got it for a really cheap price, and I was just kind of going for it, right? Once Tyler started getting into bikes too, I decided to revisit. You know, that passion kind of came back for bikes, and I decided, okay, I definitely want to do this. And you know, luckily he let me ride his Himalayan a few times, and it really got me back into it. So I thought that taking the MSF course would help me learn not only the how, but the why we do things and the safety aspects. Because as a new rider, I feel like the number one thing you should be concerned with is safety. And that's with any rider. You have to be safe, and I think the MSF course does teach you how to be safe better, if that makes sense. So when I signed up for the MSF, I wasn't really sure what to expect. I know that obviously it's they teach you a few skills that you need to be safe on the road and to be able to test to get your full license. Tyler had talked me through a few things that I would learn. When I signed up, I was a little nervous because I knew that I'd be riding in front of other people. And I wasn't sure, how the instructors would be. You never know who's gonna end up in your class. Was my class gonna be full of a bunch of new riders or experienced riders, intermediate riders? I wasn't really sure what to expect. I went to Balance Dynamics in Walton, Kentucky. What the class ended up being was, I took a 2-day class, and it was scheduled for 8 hours each day, but they did offer a homework assignment that you could do ahead of time online, which was through Triumph's website. And it was kind of like the general knowledge testing you have to take in order to pass the MSF. So I did that ahead of time, worked out great. Day one, we started about 8 a.m. We had about an hour and a half of kind of classroom stuff. It was mostly just like a presentation and talking through safety and reasons why we do things. And then they took us out on the course. I rode a Suzuki GN 125, so pretty low powered bike. We went through most of the exercises in day one, 8 of them in day one. And most of them were fairly basic, really just getting everyone comfortable with throttle and clutch control. Because we had some people who had never touched a bike ever in my class. And they worked really well with those people in helping them be safe. No one had any incidences, no one dropped a bike. Day two is definitely the more fun day. You feel like you're actually riding in day two. You get up to speeds where you feel like you're riding, and you're doing effective turns at that point, and your confidence level is a lot higher. I felt like after day one, I felt so much more ready to get on the road than I ever have. So that's why I'm thankful I took the MSF course for sure. We ran the last 6 exercises on day 2 in the morning, and then we took our lunch break, and then we tested out. An exercise that everyone really liked was they set up a circuit around the parking lot, and we would get up to second. We'd be going roughly 20 miles an hour, and then they wanted us to brake before we entered a turn, and then rode the throttle at a nice level through the turn. The test consists of 5 exercises you have to complete. The first was the one I was looking forward to the least, which was the weaving in and out of pretty tight set cones. And then you move on to the U-turn box, which was actually easier in the test than it was in the practice, because you only had to do one left-hand U-turn as opposed to a double U-turn. And then we did a quick stop, which is you basically from a stop, you get up to a certain speed and then brake, and you have to land your front tire into a drawn box on the pavement. And then we went to an effective swerve. So you reached a certain cone, you had to swerve and then get back out over. So I think we did right to left, and you just have to land at a certain point. And then the last one was taking turns effectively. So it was back in that kind of circuit area they had set up, and you get up to a higher speed. That was the only one that we went up into second. And then you had to brake, take a turn effectively, and then stop in a box. So it wasn't actually really, the testing wasn't as intimidating as I thought it was gonna be. Everyone is watching you, but everyone's taking that test alongside with you, and everyone wants you to pass. The instructors want you to pass, your classmates want you to pass. Everyone was very supportive. We actually, after everyone completed an exercise in the test, everyone would honk their horns in celebration, and every single person in my class passed. And it was just a good time. It was a good feeling. I felt a boost in confidence that I hadn't had with writing before. And the class just overall made me feel way, way more prepared to be on the road. Obviously, it can't teach you everything. It is a basic writer course. So they offer other classes, more advanced level classes to teach you more techniques. I would say one of the number one things that the MSF course teaches you is forming good habits. I think the techniques and habits you learn are so worth the time and cost of the class. One thing that I feel like I learned was using both brakes more effectively. When I was riding around parking lots prior to the class, I had a tendency to really only want to use the front brake, and we really focused on using both brakes and using progressive braking, so you start gentle, you're not going to squeeze either, and just using them both consecutively to have an effective stop and a safer stop. So that was something that I really appreciated, because now when I'm riding, I feel like I'm braking way more properly than I used to. Overall, I had a blast with my MSF course. It made me infinitely more confident than I was, and like now I don't have as much anxiety about getting onto the road. And I think that's the main point. They want you to be out there riding. They want to see you succeed. So I highly encourage anybody to take the class. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer as much as I can. And yeah, get out there and ride. Be safe and take the MSF. It was worth it. I don't really, I'm just kind of rambling. Do you have any questions for me I can answer?
I'm gonna cut.